All right, it's live. So welcome to another episode. Today my guests are Lucas Werner and my occasional co-host Max. Now Lucas is he's a YouTuber. He's made some videos. I think
Really bad ones.
you're like a at this point you're like a you're like a Facebook icon almost.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, but you're I invited you because you're an interesting personality, and
Oh,
I
thanks.
kind I'm yeah, I'm curious about just talking to you about certain things, certain topics. But so I didn't really write notes. I don't really for these podcasts. I don't really write a lot of notes. It's more free form
Right.
because I think it's better to have a free form conversation. And because I feel like a lot of podcasts, if you have like an out, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a little more professional, but I feel like if you have like an outline, if it's all scripted, you don't really get like to know the person quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so anyways, I guess I'll just ask questions, whatever's top of my head. So what
Okay.
what do you think about what do you think about Alex Jones?
Oh God. From Infowars.
Yep.
Oh, he's such an idiot. I'm not a big fan of the right wing propaganda
Yeah.
machine. He keeps like bringing up like old topics too, just to like rally up his sort of fan base. He's like Rush Limbaugh kind of, but just crazier.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What's your thoughts, Max?
About Alex Jones.
Yeah.
He's really good performance art, honestly.
Yeah. Uh it's funny he there's that thing that came out that he admitted to acting or whatever, and it's just funny, and he's all like, he's all saying, oh, it's not true or whatever, but he's one of those people that's just so weird that I don't even know what's like real or not with him.
Well, yeah, like half his stuff is like reptiles are taking over human bodies. I mean, it's just crazy shit, right?
Yeah, like it's kind of and it's funny that because I remember seeing this stuff years ago, and he's always been considered crazy and stuff, but like,
Right.
it's kind of funny now. He's like people like some people consider him like a voice of reason and stuff. All of a
Yeah,
sudden,
you don't really see that kind of like comparison to the left. Like, there's crazies on the left, but nothing like that extreme.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know where I would go if I was like Alex Jones of the left. That
Yeah,
maybe we need something like that.
yeah, and uh, yeah. Did you have you seen the Joe Rogan podcast
The
with
what?
him? The Joe Rogan podcast with him.
Probably not. I try to avoid stuff like that. I'm sure it's
He, he yeah, it was actually probably one of the best podcasts I've ever seen. He's just he was all over the place. He was talking about interdimensional child molesters and stuff. And
I think it's all gaslighting. I think it's like stuff they actually do, and then they go and they blame the left for it.
mm-hmm.
Like they'll go do something hideous, like sexually molest a kid, and then call Democrats rapists to kind of
Mm-hmm.
cover up their ass when they're the ones doing that.
Right. So, um, wait, what's your stance on religion
I'm against religion. I
Okay.
think that a lot of things could happen that the religious do, that if religion were to be ushered off the scene or taxed, people would pick up that slack. I think if because if religion went away, you'd also take away like a lot of the homeless shelters. But I think after that happened, people would be like, whoa, 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 what the fuck? We need to house the homeless. And they'd steadily do that even quicker. They're trying to do that now anyway. So homeless shelters will be a thing that if we have kids and grandkids, won't even recognize, I think. Because they'll all have homes.
Right. So wait, would you consider yourself like an atheist?
Yeah, I'd consider myself an
Okay.
anti-theist too.
Okay, so like, when was like the moment you realized when you're an atheist? Like,
Well, it's kind of funny. Like I consider myself an agnostic from the time I was 12 to the time I was 27. And then I got laid for the first time. And I thought, this is so good that I don't think any God could create this. This is so good that it's got to be a natural process. This feeling of oxytocin flooding my body, that I just sort of like saw the chemicals and was like, I understand this without having to make up something for how good it is. So there must not be something like a sentient being controlling that.
mm-hmm.
And I was tired of kind of being a pussy.
Right.
I know that sounds a little misogynistic, but I was kind of tired of being a wimp and just saying, well, I'm an agnostic. I refuse to take a position. I just decided to take a position.
So, wait. So like, so you're atheist, anti-theist, but like, what are your thoughts on nihilism?
I don't really know. I don't really get into philosophy much. Nihilism can be good or bad. It could be a depressed person or it can be a happy person, depending on what you do with it. I think philosophy is fine and grand, but what really matters is your behavior in the world. And you don't need a philosophy of life to understand that being nice to people is actually a good thing. Like you don't have to be like Christ-like and like feed the homeless, but if you don't kick them when they're down, you're at least doing something.
Right. Like, so what so like, how do I word this? Like, what? So what's your like? Do you think there's a such thing as like an ideal woman?
I think there's a lot of them. I mean, if you were to like go into my humanities class or my English class or my math class and just look around the room for 2 seconds, you would see a lot of ideal looking women. Like, to me, they kind of have to hit 3 things. They have to be good looking. Well, 4 things. They have to be good looking. They have to be between the ages of 18 and 24 before I start a relationship with them. They have to be compassionate about something, and they have to be intelligent. So those are like the 4 things I look for. Everybody's different.
And actually, that's not like, yeah, like that's not, yeah, like it's that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
I agree with you, Lucas. I think we have the same taste in women.
Yeah, I think that like you can meet somebody that's really intelligent, but they just have no heart, and that just kills it. Or they're really heartfelt and not smart. You know what I mean? They make like dumb decisions, like they got like 5 baby daddies, but they're the nicest people you can meet. And that just doesn't really hit it for me.
the girls that have 5 baby daddies and they have like 7 kids, and you see them shopping at Walmart wearing pajama pants.
Yeah, my stepsister's kind of like that. She's got like 3 kids who are all grown up now, but they all have different dads. And I just don't think that's very intelligent. But she's a nice person.
Yeah, at least every circumstance is different. But like,
Right.
Here's this is actually, I just had an interesting thought. Like, because they're talking about the the baby daddy stuff. Like,
Right.
why do you think that it's kind of it's, I don't want to be, I mean, this could go on the race thing, but like, it's kind of a stereotype some people joke about, but why do you think like a lot of like black men tend to like abandon their kids usually? Like, I mean,
I would imagine more white guys do than or just as many percentage wise white guys do them as black guys do. I think the black people get the media attention for it. But if you look at, like, you walk around Spokane and all these guys that have kids and they're not in contact with the mom, they're always like white guys. Like, whenever I meet people in the city that's got a lot of like kids and different moms, it's always like a white guy. It's never like a black guy. I mean, that may be different in different areas, but I think that is probably pretty even per population.
I'm thinking a lot of it, it has to. I think a lot of it has to do with, it doesn't have to do with the area, like, or culture, and that kind of thing. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff, like the stereotypes you hear with, ghetto black men, that can also imply to ghetto white men,
right?
So it's just more of a, I don't want to say class thing. It's more of just like a culture kind of.
Well, look at who controls the media. It's all like rich white dudes.
Right. And the Jews usually.
Well, rich white dudes in general.
Yeah. They're more, not really. They're more like, like Hollywood and stuff in general.
I mean, CNN, Fox, it's all rich white dudes. No matter where you're at politically.
Also, the richest minority group in America is Indians.
Like from India?
Yeah.
That makes sense. They're really interested in technology in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So probably a lot.
And they usually tend to work harder, I think, because like.
Yeah.
So, they're usually the most successful people here, I guess, statistically. But
there's probably a lot of rich Japanese too.
Oh yeah, probably. Also, isn't I think it's Harvard, I think, or one of the fucking high quality universities where they actually have some of them have a bias towards Asians, because when they get into like the maths or sciences or whatever, because they usually succeed, they do very good in those areas, but a lot of the universities won't accept some of them because like it's actually kind of like almost a race thing that we really talks about often, but it happens where they have kind of more bias towards Asians. They're like, well, these group of Asians will probably pass the class, but I don't know about these people. And there's a lot of people that can't get in, because they don't have the chance because of the amount of Asians that are interested in those fields and tend to, I don't know, succeed at them and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's almost like it's actually a thing that a lot, I mean, people do talk about it, but it's something that a lot of people don't talk about. But there's like a lot of universities have bias towards Asian people.
But you could go over to Japan and there's probably like homeless Japanese people. I mean, when you look at it, like poor people, you see all kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Black, white, Asian. So I never really look at like those problems as like one race's situation over another's, because I see all kinds of different people all around. I walk everywhere.
Right.
I take the bus, so I see it.
Yeah.
So it's got to be the same at the top too. There's smart white people and there's smart Asian people. It's just that there's so many smart Asian people over here is because they come over here because Harvard's such a good school, or any of the Ivy League, that they just send their best.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They really do send their best.
So earlier I was talking about the ideal woman or whatever, and you're talking about the was it the age gap or whatever,
Yeah.
or just in general. I forgot it was. So you said it was 18 to 26?
18 to 24.
Oh, 24. Okay. And I was just gonna ask, like, why it's that.
Well,
is there like a reason behind it?
People hate me for this, but when you look at the eggs, that's when they're at their best, and I want to have kids someday.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, between the ages of 18 and 24 and 25 to 30, there's a 2% drop in spindle appearance on the ova, and that can cause physical problems in the baby. So, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's a little bit, and I just kind of approach it scientifically, like 18 to 24, that's probably the best bet for a healthy child.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't think that's like yeah, that it makes sense. I don't think that's really. Yeah. I mean, I guess at first, like, if you say that to somebody, I can maybe see why somebody would be like, "What?" Like, kind of put off guard. But when you explain it doesn't. It's not like a bad. It's not bad reasoning at all. It makes sense. But
it's just kind of like why do you know that sort of thing? Well, I've looked into it. I think if you're like interested in like taking up a hobby like bicycling, you should look at all the bicycling magazines. So if you want to have a kid, you should take up looking at gynecology.
Yeah, makes sense. Now, what are your thoughts on? Because since you want to have kids, what are your thoughts on like the current like state of like you hear about like some parents nowadays like trying to apply like genders to their kids and that kind of thing, and like trying to change gender roles and that kind of thing. What's your thoughts on all of that?
At the offset, I really don't care, because if there's like 20,000 genders, it doesn't affect me at all. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in women. If there's 20,000 other genders, let them be what they want to be. Forcing something on your kids is kind of stupid. I mean, you should probably go with what I would do is just go with what they were biologically. And as the kid grew up and said, look, I'm a female, even though I'm in a male's body, I would just accept it.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to let the kid decide who they are rather than the parents.
Right. Yeah.
I know somebody who picked her own name. It's a mom of my friends, and they let her pick her own name. They just called her Baby until she was like 3 years old, and then she decided she wanted to be named Molly.
It's like that. It's like that. I didn't see that Bird Box movie that everybody and their mom was talking about, but like,
yeah, I don't know what that is.
I guess the two main kids in it are named like the boy's name is boy and the girl's name is girl.
Huh, weird.
Yeah.
That could be good or bad. I'm not really too sure.
But it does be kind of, yeah. That's I personally I don't think I would name my kids that, but you know. Wait, how does the name thing work? Like for a kid, like so you name them like Baby, and then like you said, when they're a kid, they decide their name to be Molly. Like, wait, how does that work? Like, can the parents change the kid's name legally? I don't know how that works legally.
Yeah. If you're not 18, you can change your name. The parents can do it.
Okay. That makes sense.
So that's what they did. They just changed her name. They put baby on the birth certificate, and then when she was like 3 or 4, they changed it.
Okay.
So
Uh, so anyways, since Max has been quiet,
Oh yeah.
do you have like so far? Do you have anything to ask Lucas, or is there any thoughts on certain topics that we've been talking about, or anything
I
like
mean,
that?
a good thing that you had suggested before we started this was the tosh.o deal. Like,
oh yeah,
Oh, I was gonna ask about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
What
you're
are your
aware of
thoughts
it,
on
oh
Warren?
yeah.
what are
Okay.
your thoughts on that? That's pretty.
Tosh is a jerk, but that's his job. That's what he
Right.
gets paid to do. And he could have gone a little further and really pissed me off, but he didn't go as far as I thought he would go.
Yeah, it
Are you
was.
disappointed in the fact that he didn't go as hard as you assumed, or?
No, I'm kind of glad he didn't throw me that much shade.
Hmm.
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't. I thought he was gonna like insinuate a bunch of stuff that wasn't true. He'd probably be afraid of a lawsuit because there'd
What
be
do you,
footage.
what would it make you want to file? Like, if he did something to make you file a lawsuit, what would it like be? What would be your standards?
I know a lawyer that I could get a hold of. I mean, I went to court and it was discussed, the whole Starbucks thing, but it ended up to where I was like exonerated. It was like a quick court thing. It wasn't even on the docket. It was just something he brought up. He's like, look, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't break the law or anything. So
Mm,
he, uh, the judge was like, okay, you have proof of that. It was a real simple court case. It was mostly to determine what to do with me out of the hospital, and they determined to put me back in the big hospital, the Eastern State Hospital, until they found me an apartment. That's what it was about. But they brought up the other thing just to see if I would be legally able to do that path, and so I was found to be legally able to do that path. So we were all just like, well, okay.
What about that one guy? I keep seeing this video. I think it was one of the first videos I saw that had you like physically in it, and this guy seemed to be like harassing you on camera
Yeah.
about like Christianity or something. Was he like your roommate or?
Well, I had paid him $500 to live at his house for a month.
Oh, okay.
And then he like got after me and went on Facebook and said that I was stealing all his pizza and hot dogs. And I remember distinctly walking past that pizza and hot dogs, about to go to the bathroom, and he was like, go ahead and have some more pizza and hot dogs. And then the next day he was like chastising all of us for eating all the pizza and hot dogs when he offered the damn thing.
I mean, that's a pretty expensive price
Yeah.
for some food. $500.
Yeah, I did that, and I got my food card, and I filled up his fridge full of food too. Like gave him $200 worth of food almost.
hmm.
Seems a bit unfair on his end.
Yeah, he was a jerk.
So is that like had you known him for a long time, or was it just some random off the internet?
I known him for a little bit from a mental health advocacy network,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't know him for very long.
I see.
I mean, it's not like I said, please let me stay with you. He was like, oh, you can come stay with me, man. Like, okay. And then I offered to give him some money and then gave him the money, and then he started acting like a shithead.
Yeah, I understand. How do you feel about the heat death of the universe, Warren?
The heat death?
The heat death of the universe that's supposed to happen?
I I think the universe is gonna cool down.
You think it's going to become too cold? And
Yeah.
everything's going to like stop functioning.
Like that one,
Yeah.
that one movie.
Which
the day,
2012 or something?
The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that one. They're all the same.
Yeah. What did you think of remember back in like 2012 when people were saying it was going to be the end of the world? Did you think it was bullshit or anything, or
did anything really happen in 2012?
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's like another one of those Alex Jones things.
Yeah. Like I remember like in 2011, Harold Camping put up those billboards saying the world was going to end in 2011. And he's like, it was going to end in May, and then it didn't happen. He said, no, it's going to happen in October. Nothing happened.
Yeah, but I've been here since 1979, and I've seen something like that every year I've been alive.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So I've seen this phenomena happen like 40 times, this Christian zeitgeist for the end of the world. And of course, it never happens.
I mean, Y2K is like the most famous example.
Yeah.
Actually, lately, I haven't heard of an end of the world prediction. Like 2012 is like the last one, I think.
No, there's been more since then. They just don't get as much fame. I think people are gravitating away from that shit. I think people are gravitating away from religion in general because of the internet. They're looking at it like, well, there's other logical explanations for things other than some dude in the sky poofed it into existence.
Mm-hmm. You're right. So if Jesus, let's say if Jesus was a real person, so people always, that's what I don't get, like religious, like artistic depictions of Jesus, they always make him like really white.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't he be like
Arabic?
I mean, Arabic. Yeah.
Palestinian.
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah. He wouldn't be like white and with blue eyes and shit.
No, that was all modeled after this prince. I can't remember his name, but he was like the model for that Jesus character, the one where his hands are like held up like this, and he's got like the heart on his chest. That was modeled after some sort of European prince.
Oh.
And I can't remember his name, and it bugs the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to ask me like other martyrs in history, I could tell you that though. Like Giordano Bruno, who was burnt at the stake for believing there were multiple universes out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah.
Or Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates is who I was thinking.
And they don't make movies about these guys.
Yeah. Socrates is kind of an interesting one because he was just kind of skeptical of things. He's like, I don't know about this. Oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like,
he was. I don't really like Socrates. He seemed kind of conservative to me. He was like in favor of a philosopher king. Well, that could be any king. Why not a philosopher direct democracy or something like that?
Mm.
He didn't think of that. Like when Socrates was killed, it was during a time of democracy, really, and he was advocating for a king.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I kind of doubt his power.
What are your thoughts on like secret societies? Do you think they're really sketchy or not? Or like, is there something weird with them?
Like the secret societies that exist?
Yeah, just any in general.
I think the Masons exist, but I don't think they're as bad as everybody says they are. I think the Knights Templar probably exist in some form, but they're probably not as bad as people think they are. There's all sorts of societies. I don't think that any one society is controlling the world, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a bunch of rich fuckers who want to get away with murder.
Like what kind of rich dudes? Like
billionaires.
ah,
Like, and it's not all of them. I think Jeff Bezos is pretty evil though.
why is that?
Well, he's the owner of Amazon, right? And he like treats his workers like crap. Like the people that work for him in the factories shuffling the books and products around can't even make the quotas because they're so exhausted and they're pushed so hard. It's like sweatshop labor.
Yeah,
and here he is, like, with 100.
Yeah, no, I actually worked there for like a week. It was shit.
Yeah, I've heard. I heard it's like one of the worst jobs in the United States is work for Amazon.
So far, it's probably the worst job I've ever worked. Like, if I were offered back all of my jobs, I would not pick that one every single time. That was a shit show.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've worked fast food, and
that's the worst job I've had is fast food.
Yeah, I don't know. Amazon pays well, but it's I would rather work fast food.
I think I'd rather work fast food than Amazon.
Yeah.
At least you get like a decent break in food.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that guy you were talking about that Jesus was modeled after is he was like the son of one of the old popes. His name is Cesar Borgia. I probably butchered that, but yeah.
Yeah. Like that's not even Jesus.
Yeah, no, that looks like the modern depiction of Jesus, that guy.
He's just some white dude with blue eyes that couldn't possibly be Christ.
Right. Because blue eyes were like a mutation that just recently came around.
Yeah, it came from the Thracians.
Right.
So, is there any other billionaires you think are evil?
I think they're all kind of a little evil. Even Bill Gates, who does a lot of humanitarian work, but I think at the same time, a lot of them want to pay more taxes. I think that they could get away with like having half as much as what they have, and they'd be happy with that. I think they are evil because our government allows them to be evil. I mean, there's like 50 corporations that don't pay any taxes that are making billions and billions of dollars a year, like McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King.
Politically, Warren, where do you align yourself exactly?
Probably more liberal than the Democrats, progressive, democratic.
That's democratic socialism.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I'm probably more like libertarian communist, though. I think that like we should just get rid of all the politicians and everybody controls everything with their smartphones, and then like the steering committees and all the things that make things happen, they just take our vote as the people, the percentage of voting at that time, like 1% of 1% that would be voting at that time, and they implement that, which would be like, you know, people would be making the decisions, so they'd pay more attention to politics because they'd be directly in charge. And at the same time, we want to see like big corporations be more cooperative, where like you might have an owner, but like for a little bit of time, the janitor could be president or the president could be a janitor, and they kind of like switch it up a little bit. So progressive populist, I guess.
What was I gonna ask? I just had it in my head. So did you like Obama?
Yeah, I did, but he was a little too corporate. But he was all right. I mean, for what was offered, it was decent. He probably did some bad shit, like the drones and stuff like that.
Yeah, but all presidents do that. I love
Yeah.
Obama, man.
But yeah, like Clinton would have done that too.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. Like politicians kind of suck in general. They're all murderers.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're all bad.
Especially the
people.
Jewish ones.
Yeah.
Well, in the face of like Palestine, yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on all that going on over there? It's crazy.
I think the Jews didn't learn their lesson.
I agree.
Israel. I would think that like after 6 years of absolute horror perpetrated on them by Adolf Hitler, they would have learned to be a little more peaceful towards the Palestinians. But nope, they just took that and was like, we're the Nazis now.
Yeah, man. The Jews will never learn their lessons, though.
And then it'll be them again. So,
what are your thoughts on Ben Shapiro?
I'm not sure.
Oh, have you not watched much of him? Or?
I've honestly never even watched a video of his. Like, I don't even know what his voice sounds like.
It's just, it's annoying.
He just seems unimportant.
It's kind of all distraction. I mean, the whole shutdown for the wall thing is just distraction for what's going on in Syria, in Yemen. I mean, they've been distracting against Yemen for like years now, and they're just bombing the hell out of little kids. And like Syria, we're backing out of Syria so the Russians can claim their prize. But nobody wants to talk about that because of the fucking wall debate.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like it's a cover-up that's pretty blatantly obvious.
Right. Is there any conspiracy theories that you believe in? Yeah.
I don't know. I think my idea of a conspiracy theory is stuff that seems obvious to me, like how the petroleum companies control big pharma and the insurance companies.
Yeah, by some rich old Jewish men, probably.
Rich everybody.
It's not really a conspiracy if you can just debunk it, though. Like, it's just like uncommon knowledge, I guess, at that point.
Mm.
I think a lot of people know that, though.
Like MK Ultra.
McUltra?
Yeah. Wait, is that what it's called? I thought it was MK Ultra.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. MK Ultra.
where the government would drug and rape and hurt U.S. They would emotionally torture U.S. and Canadian citizens just because the testing, I guess. You think anything still goes on like that?
I don't know.
I think so.
I mean, with this system, I wouldn't be surprised about anything going on. Like, part of me thinks that this whole child sex trafficking thing is all our government doing.
I believe it.
I think that they get money for it, so they kind of look the other way on it. Same with like the whole opioid crisis. I think that's kind of manufactured by the government to make money.
Mm-hmm.
True.
What are your thoughts on the white genocide going on in South Africa?
Killing of white people?
Yeah.
Well, don't they kind of deserve it?
Why is that?
Well, I don't know if anybody deserves to be killed, but like, like the Dutch went in there centuries ago and then started the apartheid, and then people were surprised that the black Africans are rising up against their white slave owners.
True.
Do you know what MBTI is, Lucas?
MBTI, no.
It's the, have you heard like the personality type thing?
Huh.
Like it's the 4-letter thing.
Or like INTFP or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was wondering if you ever.
Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, I wonder if you ever did it, the tests, or has looked into that or anything.
I got INFP.
I've tested that before too.
I think I am really introverted, but I don't think I'm shy. I think a lot of people confuse introversion with shyness. Like I can be very outward and like very friendly with people, you know what I mean? But after like 30 minutes, I have to go and be by myself for a while, which is kind of why I smoked for 20 years. Is it was like an excuse to get away from people.
Cigarettes?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And then I quit.
You feel any better after quitting? Or is it okay?
I can smell.
True.
Have you ever smoked the marijuana, Lucas?
I've smoked it off and on since I've been 17.
You partake in the devil's lettuce, Lucas Werner.
The what?
The devil's lettuce?
Yes.
Damn.
My apartment's got this thing where you can't smoke in the apartment, so that's a real bummer in the winter time going outside to smoke. Because it's legal in Washington State. And I've had like cops over at my house investigating something from this group on Facebook that I had a gun, and they asked me if I had any drugs. I was like, I have some pot. I have a couple pot pipes, and he's like, this is Washington State, dude. You're fine. So he looked at it and he smelled it, and he didn't smell meth or anything like that. So he's like, all right. And then he looked around for the gun that wasn't there.
What are some I'm curious, what are some like movies or like shows you're into?
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of movies or TV. I used to a lot more. I think the last thing that I've ever seen on a screen that wasn't like a sign for homework or something was the Residence documentary. You remember those guys? I don't know if you're old enough to remember this, but like I'm barely old enough to remember this. But they had like this. They started in the 70s, and they had like these big eyeballs.
I know who those are. Yeah, the eyeball dudes.
And they're still making music and stuff today.
I didn't know they were still making music. I know about them because of YouTube.
They got to be like in their 60s or 70s.
Yeah. Wait, has their identity ever been revealed?
Theirs? No.
Okay.
They've gone by their first names for like 40 years. And they've seen like they've shown them without their mask for like a split second, and then they put the mask back on them. There was like a theory that George Harrison was one of the dudes from the Beatles. Other than that, no. It's just it's all secret. And those guys have influenced everybody from like Primus to Tool. I mean, Maynard gets out and he's got like all these like wigs and masks and stuff, and the sort of the weird sounds that they come up with are just like directly ripped off from Residence albums. And they influence guys like Ween. So I watched that movie, and it was just bizarre, but it was really neat how they did like the artistic stuff. Yeah, and that was the last thing I watched, and that was like months ago.
Right. Actually, I've never heard that they made the documentary. I'm kind of interested to know. Like, have you ever watched anime?
Somewhat. I downloaded this app to have a TV because I was kind of bored last summer, and there was this anime channel, and I watched a couple things on there. And the only thing that I remember liking was something that I watched before that in the hospital was what was it? One Punch Man.
Yeah, One Punch Man.
Oh,
That
that's
was
the best.
that was awesome. He like wins every fight, and he goes through like periods where he thinks he's not going to win, and then he wins every time.
Mm.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Have you ever watched hentai?
I know what it is, but I'm not really into it.
Same.
What are your thoughts? What are your what are actually, since you're talking about the woman, the ideal woman and stuff, like what are your thoughts on like pornography or sex work and all that?
There's nothing wrong with pornography.
Yeah, but sex work, are you like a begone thought kind of guy, or are you just like
I think it should be legal. I think prostitution should be legal. Sex work is just like women or men flashing their bodies for money. There's nothing wrong with it if people are willing to pay.
Right.
Like, to me, it seems kind of stupid. Like, porn's free.
Right.
Why would you pay somebody for it? And I know somebody who's a sex worker, and I've not paid for any of her stuff, even though I want to, because she's hard up for cash. But I've never gotten around to paying her for anything.
Not to mention names or anything, but is this someone that's pretty popular on Facebook?
No, I don't think so.
Is she on Facebook?
She might be. Her name is Berg.
Okay, I don't know who that is. There's somebody in mind I was thinking of that might have been, but and yeah, I agree with that. I don't see a problem with it. Yeah, and porn's free, so I don't see the point. But
knowing anyone who listens to my shit, we're gonna get a bunch of comments saying "cut cast." But I agree. You know, I'm not like supportive of it in any way, but it's whatever.
It's whatever. So, well, Lucas, I'm curious. What were you like in high school?
Real shy, real kept to myself. I would usually be like underneath a tree reading a book or something. But then I won a political election in the 8th grade and became the 9th grade class president. I'm really good at that sort of shit if I really wanted to do that. I was usually writing. My parents have like boxes and boxes of stuff that like predated the Occupy movement. Because I used to listen to like Jello Biafra and gather ideas from like Noam Chomsky and shit and put it together and form like an idea of how I wanted society to be. And my parents just had like tons of this stuff. My stepdad drug out something that I wrote in like grade school about him and like showed me a couple hours ago. He's like, "Do you remember writing this?" I was like, "Oh wow, that's from the 7th grade or 2nd grade or whatever it was."
So do you have anything to ask Lucas, Max?
I mean, I want to keep it going, but
yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I do. I have stuff, but I was just wondering because
I've been getting messages and comments, and I think the best one. You don't have to disclose this information, obviously, if it's like too personal. But it's like someone asked, "Do you make an earning at all off of, say, YouTube videos or whatever?"
No.
Yeah, because they kind of nerfed people who like I noticed too. I stopped getting money from YouTube. They nerfed people who are like under. What was it like
2,000 subscribers, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. But there was also a play limit too. Like you had to get at like 10,000 minutes a month in order to get your checks.
It's nowadays it's like impossible. It's almost impossible if you're starting out to get paid.
Yeah, no, it's fucked. I've been on there for too long, and I get nothing.
I usually get a bunch of dislikes because people don't like me.
Yeah,
just be talking about board games or whatever, and people like.
I saw that, and this is probably the only time I haven't seen negative feedback at all from you. It was that post about you wanting to play board games with someone.
Yeah.
What board games are you into, Lucas?
I'm into a lot of them. I'm into like abstract strategy games. I'm really starting to get into like Euro games and trying to figure them out. I just bought a game called Glen More. I own another one called The Colonists. I own another one called The Castles of Burgundy. I own a big Alhambra big box. And they're games I don't know how to play, but I'd be really interested in learning how to play them.
Have you ever played Settlers of Catan?
No, but I own it.
I just got into that game recently, and
I just talked to a cop that really liked that.
Yeah, like it's surprisingly like really. It's like I play with my friends and stuff, and it's like really. It's actually like addicting game, almost.
If you like that, everybody's talking about terraforming Mars.
Huh.
It's like Settlers of Catan in space, but like way better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really play board games as often anymore. I played I played that, and like kind of comparing the kind of games you're kind of into or interested in, like that, and of course like Risk. But
yeah, I don't like Risk anymore.
Yeah,
like,
I
skill. There's no tactical shit to do with it other than rolling dice.
Yeah, it's all like luck, pretty much.
Yeah. Like any game that involves a lot of luck, I'm kind of out.
And in the game, like it takes like 14 hours to play.
Oh, it could take that if you got a bunch of people playing it, sure. But you're not really thinking when you're playing it. You're just like putting places. The whole strategy with Risk is don't attack anybody and let them attack you and build up your reserves, and don't attack until you have to, and you might win.
Yeah.
It's a one-trick pony. If you like that, there's a game called Tetrarchia that I just bought that's sort of like that, but there's like 81 different strategy levels on it, and there's like 5 different things you can do with each roll. So there's tons of war games out there that are way more tactical than Risk. Stratego is probably another one.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
And it's old.
Max, what are some board games you're into?
Oh shit, dude! You guys are pulling out names I've never even heard of. You have not said a single board game other than Risk that I can identify.
Carcassonne.
Fucking.
You're more like I'm more. I have a normie knowledge when it comes to board games.
That's so fucking weird.
I just collect them.
I do.
Julian, I thought you were bullshitting. I thought you were on like Wikipedia, like, I like this board game too. Like,
no, I mean, I know some, like, I know the names of some of these like strategy ones, but I don't play board games.
Okay, so you know them, but you haven't played them.
I know because I know people that I know that have played them and talked about them. Like my friends and stuff have played them, so that's why I know.
But, I mean, I don't really play any games. I don't really play any board games or video games.
You don't play Chutes and Ladders?
Haven't played that in a while. It's good. It's a good game. It's decent.
Like that, like Candyland.
Candyland's good.
Candyland is the most non-skill game ever.
Yeah, you're drawing a card, you go into the space. That's it. It's like insulting to children.
Honestly. Shit. What about like games, like video games? What are you as far as factions? Are you like?
I don't really play
Nintendo or. Oh, okay.
I have friends that were like, my little brother is really into it, and I had a couple friends who were a couple years older than me in high school, and we remained friends for like 20 years that were really into video games. But I just never really got into it. I could sit there and watch, but it was like you have to like not look at the controller as you're like looking at the screen, and I like looking at the things as I move them around. And I always kind of had a soft spot in my heart for board games, so I started collecting them this last year.
there's a lot of board games I'd want to buy. I mean, I have quite a bit. I guess I have a decent amount of board games, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't like paying the money for a lot of them.
They're about the
So
same price as a video game.
yeah, but I don't really play video games either. That's the thing.
Right.
I'm a casual gamer. I have casually played games, but
Just get like one really, really good game like T-Call or El Dorado or like Terra Mystica. Just like one really, really good game and just bring that out when your friends come over. Like, you want to fucking play this? And they'll be like, what the fuck is that? And they'll be, what the fuck this is? And then you just teach them how to play that.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're like the same price as video games, but
sometimes cheaper.
Yeah.
Sometimes way more expensive too. Like Gloomhaven is $107. But it's huge. It'll eat your table up. But everybody loves it.
There's that one board game I saw in some YouTube video. I don't remember what it's called. I thought it looked cool. And it was like an older game. I think it's from like the 70s or early 80s or something.
Acquire?
No, but it has like it has a ball like that. It's like, is it called Fireball or something? I think that's what the game's called. It's called something like that. And it's like it's like a prehistoric setting, and you have this like Indiana Jones like boulder thing, and you can knock like people off the board and stuff with it if you get a chance. Yeah, and I was curious. I was like, oh, that'd be a fun game to play with my friends. And I looked it up, and it was like $500 or something.
Oh,
yeah, because they never made a reissue of it, which I think is weird. But because it's a game people would play. But
the hot thing with like board games right now are dexterity games like Jenga. Like there's this whole genre of flicking games out there that, I kid you not, is just like blowing the market away right now. Where you just like have like a little dude and you flick it at some other little dude and try to knock it out of this area. Or you try to flick a disc or some shit at it and knock over a cactus and flick them up. But there's like Flick Fleet, there's Flickster, there's all these flicking games out there. And those are the hot new thing. That's what everybody's into right now. That and like the standard Euro games.
Yeah.
Flick them up looks like a lot of fun. I might have to buy that.
Is there any flicking beans games?
Any flicking what?
Beans.
Any flicking beans. Oh my god. Like what, like Meet the Fuck games?
I don't know. What?
You remember those?
Oh yeah.
The Meet the Fuck games.
Yeah, I remember.
On was it Newgrounds or
yes, Newgrounds. Newgrounds.
Do you have any like nostalgia for Newgrounds at Lucas?
I'm not sure what that is.
I think he's too old for that. He was like,
I am probably too old for that.
He was like kids, but he was probably like in his 20s, I think, when Newgrounds started.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I guess it was like a site where a lot of animators and shit and like video game designers got their start, and they would just make shitty like Flash games.
Oh boy!
But there was a lot of pornographic ones, and I think that's where
Sure.
everyone got their first boner from. They were
Right. There's in Japan a ton of that shit.
Oh yeah,
I believe it. They sell panties and vending machines over there.
They sell everything in vending machines over there. You could buy a Hyundai if you wanted.
Yo, there's this thing that opened up near me. It's called Carvana, and it's literally a fucking, what do you call it? It's like a vending machine, but for cars. You literally just, it's this
in
big
the United
totem
States?
pole.
What?
Yeah. I live in Arizona, right?
Wow.
I want to say it's in Tempe, either Tempe or Mesa, somewhere around there. But yeah, it's like if you look up Carvana, it's fucking, or Carvana. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but still.
Like you put 25 cents in and you get like a new Saab.
Nah, more like 25 grand in.
A grand.
I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's like
I'm just picturing in my head like a giant like I don't know, like so you go there and there's like all the cars and like in a circle, but it's like last off and you're like, okay, it's like a regular vending machine, but you just enter like thousands, like enter all these dollar bills and shit. And
right.
thousands, $25,000.
I'd imagine that's a good place to get robbed.
Oh.
And then the car comes out. It's like rolls out. Here you go. Here's your car.
That's Japan for you.
Yeah. I never even heard of that car thing. That's weird.
Have you been out of the country ever, Lucas?
Yeah, I've been to Canada. I've been to Mexico.
Well, that doesn't count. That's like still on the continent. I'm talking like overseas.
No. My parents were travel agents, and they traveled all over the place.
You didn't get like free or like discounts or anything? Like
No, because they had to go by themselves. They had to go to check it out as a business thing, but they had a lot of fun.
Damn.
They took us to Mexico. They took us to like Disneyland, like regular trips, Hawaii. I went to Washington, D.C., but they went to Europe all the time, every once in a while, I guess. And then my stepdad went to China and traveled around all the big cities, or a bunch of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go more and go like more Asian stuff and more Australia, but they got out of the business when like Travelocity and all those internet sites started popping up.
Oh, right.
Because people could do their own travel, so they would have lost money if they stayed in it, so they retired.
Huh.
And they made bank too, because my mom was like 47. They only did this for like 7 years, and they made a ton of money.
That's
And
pretty
now
good.
they live in Arizona. Yeah.
Oh, they live in Arizona too?
They do.
That's crazy. It's a nice place to live if you're like, even if you have money to live somewhere nice here.
Yeah.
I do not, but you know.
Yeah, that's crazy, Lucas. Have you ever tried DMT?
Tried what?
DMT.
Like Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Jamie, bring up a picture of DMT. Julian?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a type of psychedelic or whatever.
Yeah, it's basically the
Is it
drug.
a plant?
No, it's in your brain. It's like
What sort of cannabinoids?
Yeah. So are opioids and shit. But it's like it gets a heavy amount gets released when you die. So that's why people I guess the brain is still active for however many minutes. I can't think of it, but we're not as well versed as Joe Rogan and JP. Yeah, I don't know. I would never try it because I'd be fucking scared. Like if I ever got that feeling again, I'd be like,
yeah,
I'm gonna fucking die right now.
I've done ecstasy before. That was not good.
Oh,
like coming down from that, I thought everybody was HIV positive and was gonna like spray me with their blood.
Damn.
And I felt that way for like 2 days. And it was like an honest feeling. It wasn't just like a passing, oh, everybody's crazy kind of thing. It was like, everybody's fucking crazy and they're going to come and get me. So I was scared.
That's crazy.
I, like, paused and couldn't move and was like, oh, I guess I have to go pee now. I hope nobody's in there to get me.
I pissed myself on acid once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, LSD is not the drug for me.
I don't like that either. I've done that. I did that a couple times in high school and didn't like it.
Same, yeah.
And those are the only two hard drugs that I ever did, and I just didn't like them. I never was interested in heroin or meth or anything.
Not even cocaine, Warren?
No. Like my drug right now is cheese.
Cheese is a drug for me because I'm lactose intolerant.
Like cheese and occasionally a bowl of weed. Caffeine.
I feel that.
I got schoolwork to do. I don't want to get messed up on anything.
Yeah.
What are you like studying for? I don't mean to get like too personal, but are you studying for like a particular field or?
I was going to, but now I'm just kind of winging it, like going through the motions of what I need to do in case I choose that path, like
Right.
embryology or something like that. But right now I'm just thinking, man, I want to be a really good board game designer. So I'm just getting the AA. You know, I'm just going because it's a good thing to do is get educated. And I'm already almost 40, so I don't have anything. So I just went to school because I was bored.
Damn. Yeah, that's true. Shit. My mom did that too when she got older, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm surrounded by like 18-year-olds and they're all really nice to me and stuff.
Has anyone recognized you from anything?
No,
Like
I'm
in
always
class?
worried they are.
Yeah.
Because
Uh,
people have come up to me on the streets and they're like, "Are you Lucas Werner?" And I'm like, "Oh God, what did you hear? Are you gonna
Just tell them
shoot?"
no.
Yeah, that's what it's like. After one little thing, one little incident,
so
one
wait,
little
like,
accident.
do people do like? Is it usually positive or like negative or
It's
like?
usually positive though. They
Okay.
just say that they recognize me from the internet, and I just kind of laugh it off. Like one guy, he shows up and he's like, blah 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 blah. I know who you are, blah 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 blah. But I'm just seeing if you're doing anything bad. Like no, and I was like, listen, do you want to go eat some sushi and talk? And then he was like, oh, I love sushi. But then he took off to like go chase some skirts.
I'll get some puss.
Yeah.
Nash some gash.
What would you what do you think's the best? I know my methods, but what do you think's the best methods for picking up women? Like, do you think there is, or do you think it varies on the girl? Do you?
Don't hit on them.
What?
Just treat them like they're your friends. And eventually they come around. If they ask you questions, answer them honestly. Try not to be sexual in any sort of way. It turns them on.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of friends on Twitter and Facebook that they're just friends. You know what I mean? They're just women friends. And my philosophy with women is just don't be sexual with them at all. Let them come to that decision if they do, and if they don't, just it's okay.
Huh.
There's more that come around. They're half the population. There's billions of them.
Right. Like if yeah, no, I guess to an extent I could agree with that. That's what well, maybe
I mean,
not
what
to
does
a
this
T.
typical dude do? He posts a picture of his dick,
Right.
and that at no point in human history has showing your dick to a woman ever made her want to jump your bones.
Right.
Never. So
No.
just like talk to them like they're family or something. Talk to them like they're your sister and you care about them. Talk to them like they're your friend and they just happen to be female.
Right.
You don't have any attraction to men, do you?
Nah,
Warren? Okay. Fair.
I'm just friends.
Yeah.
Do you, you don't have to answer this. It was too personal, but like you're talking about the ideal woman and stuff. Like, was the first girl you lost your virginity with like kind of fit that mold, or was she the complete
Nah.
opposite?
She was
Well,
27. I was 27. She had 3 kids. We were talking on the internet for 3 months. And she came over for dinner one day and humped me.
like, consensually?
Yeah. Well, kind of. I
Okay.
mean, it was like
Right.
I went down to go get a can opener because they didn't have one. I went to the commons area for my apartment to go borrow one. And I came back and I made the food. I made the spaghetti. We ate. And then she said she had to use the restroom and she was gone for a while. So I checked in my room and then she was in bed wearing lingerie.
Mm.
So I got into bed with her, and we just started like going through that.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay.
And then I dated 2 more after that, and then it's been like 7 years since.
Lucas, weren't you like married?
Huh?
Were you married at a time?
No.
I don't know why. I thought you were married.
Nope. Never married. Never had kids. Want to be though. My apartment's pretty small, so it'd have to be something where I would. That's part of the reason why I'm trying to get an AA degree is I could get a better job, which is like nothing now. I haven't had a job in 18 years.
Damn. What was your last job?
Like fast food, working at Arby's.
Oh, I worked there too.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad job. It just was shitty.
Mine was bad, but it was the people there I worked with and stuff. That was pretty bad.
I ended up stealing like a whole bunch of mozzarella sticks from their freezer, which was like 20 years ago.
Damn. Yeah, I doubt that Arby's is even open still.
Oh yeah, they are.
What the fuck?
Like a couple months ago.
What? How does Arby's have business, dude?
They have some pretty good food there.
Yeah, they do. I just ate there. I just ate Arby's today, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those roast beef cheese sandwiches are pretty bomb.
Yeah, that's what I had actually. The cheddar beef sandwich thing.
They got rid of the Big Montana though.
What was that?
It was like a big, huge one. Just like roast beef and cheese.
Oh, okay.
It probably was too sloppy.
I always thought their sandwiches were really hard to make, like to memorize, because they had so much variety. Like
it wasn't like that 20 years ago. They only had roast beef sandwiches and like a turkey sandwich.
Yeah, like now
market fresh sandwiches.
Yeah, and we
never get those.
Yeah, and yeah, because I worked there like 2 years ago, but yeah, it yeah, it was. Well, I didn't like about the job. Well, that part, it was kind of hard to do because of all the memorization part. But then I had people I worked with that were just fucking assholes. Like, didn't want to train me. They're like, nah, we don't want to. We don't care. Like, didn't.
It was like at every fast food restaurant I worked at. Wendy's, McDonald's.
Yeah.
Nobody really gave a shit.
Yeah.
I smoked a lot of pot at McDonald's. Like in the freezer with other employees.
Oh man, I used to work at this place. I'm not gonna say it because they're sort of locally run, but I worked at their deli and I would take big fat old vape pen rips in their freezer just to pass the time because no one fucking went there.
I think I was dishonest at every place that I worked. I mean, I would steal the little tickets from Subway and give them to my friends. But this is like way before I had any sort of like moral groundwork for anything. I was a stupid kid, like 18, which is just like, fuck the system. I'm going to do what I want. Now I'm like totally straight laced and don't want to get in any kind of trouble. Kind of boring.
I feel you.
I think it's better to be that way.
To be boring or to like not get into trouble?
Try to get into trouble. To be that guy that's like, look, we shouldn't do this because we're gonna get in trouble.
Right. I don't know. I like going out of my way to just do shit like that because if it's just like convenient to the situation, then I'm like, you know what, we could avoid this. This is easily avoided, but I just like being reckless.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Yeah, I was kind of the same.
Yeah.
Usually I'm just reckless when I have like the good opportunity to. I'm not blatant. I was never that stupid where I was blatant with it. Like kids at school, like who would just fucking like, do obvious shit, like reckless shit in front of everybody. Like I was smart, with it. I would do it when there's like, I would, I don't know. I wasn't that edgy, but fucking, I was smart with my recklessness.
Yeah,
I got away with things.
Me neither. I hung out with like 2 guys, and they were older than me, and we would just get drunk all the time. And I would get drunk with some people that were about my age. It was like whenever it was with people my age, we'd drink nothing but beer. And then when I drink with my older friends, it would be like whiskey. And we'd just like go wandering around the neighborhood.
Damn. Yeah, I feel that.
And I was always the guy that puked.
Can't hold your liquor.
Well, I could probably. They say blue-eyed people can hold their liquor more than anybody else. It's just I wanted to test that theory.
Well, Hitler didn't call us perfect for nothing.
Yeah. It's not fun anymore. I'll drink every once in a while, but it takes me like a week to finish a bottle of whiskey. I just can't do it. It makes me sick, makes me dry. I wake up having to pee all the time.
Right, yeah. I don't think liquor, any type of alcohol is fun nowadays.
It's not. Marijuana is fun, though. I mean, you can smoke a little bit and come back and math is interesting. I mean, I'll smoke a little bit now and just be like, damn, I got to groove on some math.
Yeah, I feel you. Doing math, smoking weed.
Yeah, makes it fun.
What was I gonna ask? What was the last? I don't know. I just reminded me we were talking about all this stuff. I don't know why, but what was the last dream you had?
The last dream I had?
Yeah.
The last one that I remember, I was off my lithium, and I started dreaming about how I had kids, and then I woke up and I didn't have kids, and I was disappointed.
Huh.
This is like a couple months ago. I don't remember my dreams. Like my dream, like my Martin Luther King dream is to have children. I have a dream today of having many a brood.
Doing it out in public, just like
I have
a dream.
I have a dream. Was it have or had?
I think it's have.
Okay.
I have a dream. Yeah, it's I have a dream. Yeah. Actually, let's take turns telling what's the last dream we had.
Oh shit.
My last dream, I for some reason I was like at my old high school, and we were in the me and the whole entire school was in the soccer, or no, it was like a group of like students and teachers and stuff were out in a soccer field, and we were like we were all like brawling with each other, like fucking like what's that show? Remember that show American Gladiator or whatever?
Yeah.
We were doing that. We were like hitting each other, but we were like laughing while doing it. We had these like again like I don't know. It was really weird dreams. We were like throwing dodgeballs at each other. It was just really weird. But that was the last dream I had for some reason. I don't. But what was yours, Max?
I actually had a dream last night. I genuinely cannot remember what it was about. I just remember I was in like a factory of some sort.
Factory.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. It was like gray, and the ceiling was yellow.
Ew.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. It was pretty gross factory.
Now, Lucas, have you ever had any paranormal experiences?
You mean like aliens?
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, I did see two UFOs 2 days ago. I think
2 UFOs
3 days ago.
No, here's the thing about that. Like, it's always.
But I don't think it's necessarily aliens. That's the thing. When he's saying that, I don't think.
They say it's like either ghosts or aliens, but nobody ever comes back and is like, "Dude, I just saw a unicorn," or "Dude, I just saw a leprechaun." It's always ghosts or aliens.
Yeah.
Whatever the TV is talking about that week.
Yeah. The UFOs I saw, long story short, they're just one. I thought it was I didn't know it was. I thought it was a plane at first, but it was kind of moving weird, and then it was just moving normal. Then all of a sudden, this other thing that looked like it came out of nowhere, and then like the two, like, but they were like going like they're not moving like left to right. Well, they were moving left to right, but they're also moving like almost like up and down in a weird way, and then they like both hovered over each other, and then they just kind of went away. It was like really fucking. It was really weird.
Could have
I
been
don't
like
even.
on those stealth bombers or something, or
Might be.
like military experiment.
Could be. Yeah, it could be. I know it's a thing. Like when you say UFO, I always G. UFO just means unidentified flying object,
Right.
which
Could
means
be anything.
yeah. Like, and why is aliens? Why is it always like the green, little green or gray guys that have big eyes, wear little suits, and
Because
do anal
TV wants
probes?
to distract you, because they want to keep your mind off important shit. If you weren't watching that on TV, you'd be thinking about what was going on in Yemen right now, and there'd be protests. So they gotta like distract you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. I think
Well,
that they're just
maybe.
all this distraction against the wars.
Well, maybe. Maybe like they're distracting us from real alien stuff, and so they have like all this really cartoony alien stuff. Like, oh, here's
Yeah,
some
maybe that.
aliens to make us think that it's just a little goofy thing. It couldn't exist, you know. Those type of creatures couldn't exist. It's too goofy.
Meanwhile, the real aliens look like a big blue bug or something like that.
Yeah.
What about reptilians?
Yeah.
You ever seen those very low quality videos on Facebook of
Yeah.
every president we've ever had blinking sideways, and it says proof it's a reptilian.
the video glitches a bit.
Yeah, the video glitches.
There's a stream system.
Their eye turns green, greenish yellow. Oh man.
Do you think Jay-Z's in the Illuminati?
Who?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z the
rapper?
rapper.
Yeah, Jay-Z the rapper. People say he's in the Illuminati. Or he's I don't think the Illuminati, but there's something kind of sketchy with him, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, he can rap and beatbox at the same time. That shit's weird.
He can?
Aren't the Illuminati supposed to be kind of intelligent, though? I mean, like, musicians aren't, like, for the most part, all that smart. Like, listen.
I mean, there's intelligent ones, but it's not like you think of them as like
Led Zeppelin were intelligent. Nirvana was intelligent.
But you don't think of them as like
Tupac was intelligent.
You don't think of them as intelligent figures, kind of, in a way. Like, they're not like scientists or psychologists or anything like that. They're just, I don't know, just artists in general.
Yeah. And it's like whenever there's like this alien thing going on, it's always like the stupid people. It's never like, oh, the president comes out, yep, we have confirmed aliens. Though I wouldn't be surprised with this one if he'd say that.
And that'd be hilarious if Trump just randomly. He's the type of dude. If there was something about aliens, like he had to make an announcement, he would just make it at the most random time. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, there's some aliens. Yeah, they exist. Yeah." And we'll be like, "What? Huh?" We will all be confused.
Or he'd be up there like 24 hours a day. Nope, no aliens. No aliens whatsoever. Monday through Friday, he'd be saying, nope, no aliens. On Twitter, it would be #no aliens. And everybody would be like, there's a fucking aliens.
I mean, Trump's already trying to build a wall, so I think he doesn't agree with aliens. But
it's touche. Touche. Yeah, maybe. Oh, wait. Maybe the idea of the space aliens is a distraction from the the actual aliens, all that stuff going on. Maybe it's a distraction.
What, like I was saying, reptilians and shit?
Yeah, people make up all this stuff to distract the stuff going on with like immigrants and stuff, like bad stuff going on.
Oh, okay.
To distract
those reptilians.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess. I don't know. But people still give a shit about it, so it doesn't really like work.
Yeah, I know. This is a dumb theory.
It is.
They need to make a movie like those ghost movies, but it's all about a unicorn. I think there is one like that.
Yeah, isn't
It's like a
yeah.
shadowy creature with a horn, and you don't really ever fully see it, but you know what the hell it is.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't I think there is a movie like that.
I love that trope. I love the idea of a unicorn instead of ghosts or leprechauns because those are the
Oh, there's
silliest things.
wasn't um I was thinking of the movie Legend, whatever. I was thinking of that movie. That had that unicorn or whatever.
Right.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I don't remember it. But yeah, again, like I don't know. Do you have anything you want to talk about, Max? Anything else?
Personally, like politically or what?
Anything?
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 Actually, I think what intrigued me the most about you, Lucas, is your like history of mental illness because it's similar to mine.
Well,
I
I have
read
bipolar 1.
right. I read a while back. It was from you that you said that you got bumped down from like schizoaffective bipolar to just bipolar 1.
Yeah. It was like I was schizoaffective, they said, and then bipolar 2, then bipolar 1. So they're like, as it's going along, I'm getting more and more rational and sane, according to the psychologists.
Yeah, you've been pretty down to earth this whole call, so
Yeah.
I try to be.
I don't know. It's it's completely contrary to anything that's been said about you negatively. That is.
That's what everybody says. They're like, you're not like that dude that they talk about.
Nah.
I'm like, I know I'm not, because they're using stereotypes and memes to try to portray me as something that I'm not.
Yeah, I mean that's the internet.
They're exaggerating. Like
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. You know who Chris Chan is?
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
It happened. Whatever happened to you, it's happened to him 100 times worse. Like his whole fucking house burnt down. Like
he burnt his house down.
did he? Yeah.
Yeah, because he had the coffee pot on by like a wire or something like that. Something no, it was something like that. So something caught on fire that was right next to on the coffee pot or something, and it got hot and like fucking and because his house was like cluttered because him and his parents were hoarders. And so it was, his house was covered with so much stuff that
That's sad.
everything just caught. Yeah. And he has severe, like really severe, he's known to have really severe mental illness problems.
People like made fun of him for that. And that could have triggered more than he could have dealt with.
It definitely did. But
people don't care though because he said he hates gays and black people and shit that.
Maybe he is the type of person that should be bullied.
Well, yeah.
That's why people are on the fence about him.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never been that way. I've always been really supportive of gays and blacks and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Chris Chan nowadays, he's kind of the same, but yeah, he or she, it's a transgender now.
True.
But yeah, like it's I think there's some stuff that's I'm just calling they, I guess, so no one attacks me if they're listening to this. That they I think there's some stuff that's deserved, like some of the stuff, like the black people and all that stuff, but like some of it I don't think is really like I don't know. Is this one of those hard figures, pretty much? Like it's kind of I don't know how to feel about it. Because I admit I did laugh at some videos.
Oh yeah, like his videos in like where he was. I have this specific one saved of him telling people to like. I think he was telling people to delete videos or something, or a specific video, and he is dressed in like some like native war paint or something.
Oh,
And
that
doing
one.
doing a like pointing a gun.
so, so racist.
Oh, and he was in blackface.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a madman, or they, she, you know.
That's really just sad.
Yeah.
There's
True.
somebody that fucked up that they're like that racist.
Yeah.
And Chris Chan's so bizarre because Chris Chan is probably he like he's as I was calling she's as much more documented. She's as probably documented as most like historical figures, if not
Absolutely.
more. Probably
Well,
as much as either
Isn't that how
her and Hitler have competition for like how much documents on them and
I
stuff.
mean,
Like,
she has this whole subsection of people called Christorians. Like,
oh yeah,
boy.
there's a whole Wikipedia page dedicated
yeah, exactly.
about like the time, like because all it is just because Christian loves to talk about her personality life like a lot and like random details about people. She'll name names and like where they live and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah,
so yeah, people like collect all that data info about them and just they create like a timeline. Like Chris Chan on June 2nd went to McDonald's and hung out with her friend Julie. Like just weird stuff like that. It'll just be like why should it, like it's so weird that someone like that like that that's not even really a historical figure or anything. It's like so well documented. Yeah, but is there anything, Lucas, that you want to talk about?
No, I just really got to take a leak.
Do you want to wrap up this podcast?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, we can end it here. I think it's been a good run.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was nice talking to you. Actually, getting to know what you're actually like versus
sure.
the persona or the like how the kind of image people think of you as, kind of.
They're idiots.
Yeah,
They're
and
assholes too. There was someone in Spokane that was like harassing me, and she was like, she took these pictures of me around like a bus stop, and like talked about how my telomeres were not good enough to have children, and was just like bashing my genetic code. And then like somebody gave me her phone number, so I texted her and I said, I sorry I didn't get back to you soon enough, but I just want to wish you a happy holidays. And she wrote back, have a happy holidays to you too. And then I said, I was under the impression that you hated me. And she's like, well, actually, I do hate you. And that's when the conversation went downhill.
Damn.
And then she started like explaining why she hated me, how I wouldn't take constructive criticism. I'm like, if you hate me, it's not constructive. You need to grow up. And then I blocked her. So people have this perception of me that I'm some idiot, but they're the idiots, I guess.
right.
They're just jerks. They don't know me. They don't know what I'm about.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Well, this was good.
Yeah, this is good.
It was
nice
constructive.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for listening. If you made it all the way through, listening to this, and thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Max, for coming on here.
Yeah, I got you.
And I'm going to end the broadcast now, and good night.